I'm a minute late, but I'm here. Alrighty. Sorry. I'm gonna give everybody a chance to come in. Um, Hi, NC. How you doing? Let's see. Hi, Shannon. Thank you. It has been go all day today. Like I took my lunch to go run errands. And then after that, I was just finishing up what I need to at work. Thank goodness the system did not go down, because that is the worst thing that always happens. And without fail, it always happens at 3 o'clock when I need to finish up everything. It inevitably will go out on me, and it just irritates me. But today, it did not do that. So I was very thankful because, again, I was running, but I finished 20 minutes ahead of time. So I was glad about that. Then I got off work, ran some errands, came home, had a meeting, ate as much as I could, and then now I'm here. Now I'm ready for you guys. Hi, King. So anyway, if today's episode seems like a deja vu, it's because it is. So what had happened was Monday, it was raining really bad here in Texas. Yes, it was raining. And I have allergies, and I don't know if my head was just foggy, but when I was listening to the playback on Monday's video, I was repeating myself. I flubbed up the credential. Instead of saying RHIA, I think I said RHIT. And so I'm like, no. This is, I mean, I could have gone through the process of editing out those parts, but to me, it was just, there was too many mistakes throughout the video. And I've never seen a video that I've done like that before. So I said, okay, I'm going to take this one off. I'm not going to have this one out. I'm just going to go and take it off, because, you know, what I release to you guys is what I know, you know what I'm saying? And I want you guys to know I know the right information. But again, like I said, I think it goes with my allergies. So anyway, then I got a message about it. Somebody had messaged me, and they sent me a private message. They're like, Blue, I was looking for that video that you did for degree, diploma, or certification. Where is it? Because I can't seem to find it anymore. And I said, well, you know, I had put it on private. Well, can you please release it again? And I said, okay, I did too many mistakes. I'm going to have to go over it again. And so, you know, okay, cool. I got another message. I'm not kidding you. I got 3 messages in one day about that video. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay. So my shows are directed by you guys. Whatever you want, you ask, I deliver, because you're the ones that are watching me. And, you know, I want to put out content that people want to watch. So with that in mind, we're going to do this again. If you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue. I'm a medical coder. Today, I am talking about degree, diploma, or certification for medical coding. What is the difference between all 3 of these? So, let us begin. All right. So, when you are wanting to get into medical coding, there are a few different avenues for education, right? You can go through the associations for your certification, which is what I recommend, or you can go through a college program, and then that will prepare you to sit for one of the association credentials. So there's 2 major medical coding associations. There's the American Health Information Management Association and the American Academy of Professional Coders. Either one of these, you're good to go. If you get certified through them, that is totally fine. if you decide that you want to get a degree. There are 2 degrees. I'm going to start off with the degrees first, okay? There is a huge misconception about the degrees. You do not have to have a degree in the health information field in order to make good money. That's number 1. I know because I make more than degree holders that I know. Some degree holders that I know, I make more than they do. So because of this is not an uncommon thing. There's lots of degree holders out there that are not making their worth, or they're making under market value, or whatever the case may be for their area. There's a lot of that. So it is not necessary in order to make a good living to have a degree, okay? But if you choose to go the degree route, there's the associate's degree, which is the RHIT, the Registered Health Information Technician, and there is the bachelor's degree, which is the Registered Health Information Administrator, or the RHIA. If you want to go through one of these and get either the associate's or the bachelor's, you have to make sure that the program that you are going through in college is approved through CAHIM. That is the Commission on Accreditation for Health Informatics and Information Management. Or maybe the other way. But for the most part, CAHIM is the one that has a list of all the schools and their programs that train you specifically for these designations, right? When you're done with your program, you'll be able to sit for one of these designations. Do you have to sit for this designation when you've completed your program? No, you don't have to. You can always go through the program and not complete the whole thing with getting the final designation, but that would be like going to law school and never sitting for the bar, which I'm sure that has happened. But there are people that have gone to college, and right when it gets to the time to go get their certification or the designation, the RHIA or the RHIT, they can't do it. They don't feel confident enough. They don't feel like they know what it's all about. So they tell themselves, I'm going to get a certification first, and then I'm going to go back and get my degree designation. To me, when you take a lot of time away from your program, whether you went through college or a trade school or online school, that's going to take a lot of time to get through the program, let alone when you get through the program, then if you don't take the exam, it's like you're going to forget everything. And it is totally possible to forget everything quickly. So I always tell people to make sure that you take any kind of exam at least within 90 days. That is the latest that you should take to take your exams. That's just my opinion. The other thing is, people who get the degrees are typically in the leadership positions. If you are not in a leadership position, if you are not wanting to be an instructor, and that could be for coders or providers, okay? If you're not wanting to be an instructor, you're not wanting to be a manager or a supervisor or a lead coder, that is typically what they do with those. The RHIT does the lead coding. The RHIA is the one that's running in the entire department. They are the captain of the ship, and basically the RHIT is their right hand. So they're on the supervisory level, they're the manager level. If that is not what you want to do and you just want to be a coder, then you would go with one of the certifications, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But getting back to the degrees, again, if your whole goal is to just be a coder, then you're going to want to go with the certifications. If you are looking at getting a degree because, again, you think it's going to make you more money, or somebody's telling you that you're going to make more money just because you have a degree, it is not necessarily true. And I've had people who write me very upset, and they say, well, Blue, my hospital only wants degree holders, which I think is a load, but that's my own opinion, because I've seen a lot of them say either or. And so I've looked at these listings. I've never seen them only say we only take degree holders. But anyway, a lot of times if they're asking for degree holders to be in a coder position, that's not the only thing that they're doing. They're doing other duties, okay? So it's not just coding. So keep that in mind, because when employers see degree holders, they see somebody who's been through an educational process, and so they know that they can get a lot out of them. So they're going to make sure that they get a lot out of them. So be careful with how you're choosing to build your career. I always tell people, if you don't know anything about the health information field, you don't know anything about coding or the revenue cycle or anything like that, start with your certification, because at least this way you're not front loading a lot of money, right, to get educated, and then you are checking out the process and you're seeing if you like it, because not everybody likes medical coding. There are some people who get their degrees and decide they hate this. They don't like it. You just wasted $40,000 or $30,000, whatever the program costs. Some programs is $10,000, but on the higher side, I've seen it at 40. So you just wasted all that money for something that you didn't even know if you wanted or not, because people are telling you that you need a degree. Well, I'm the lone voice, and I say, because I've been over 10 years in this field, and I've seen degree holders who maximize their potential with the degree, and I've seen degree holders that don't want anything to do with that managerial side, don't want anything to do with leadership, but they just want to be a medical coder. And while they have had a lot of education, it doesn't necessarily mean that they've gotten quality coding education, because there are many employers that will ask degree holders, because coding is not mostly what they study. They're studying more like the leadership and the statistical side. They will ask degree holders to have a credential in addition to. So it's entirely up to you when it comes to that. If I'm gonna recommend anything, you may as well go all the way with the degree, with the RHIA, because that's where that's where everything is headed right now, because the RHIT is going through an update. And I did do a video out about it. I will update this video after this live, and I will put that link in there so that way you guys can watch it, so I don't have to say it again. But that is my point on that. There is also a diploma. Well, Blue, I have a diploma in medical billing and coding. Is this enough to go get a job? No. Yes and no. Here's the thing. When you have only a diploma says that you've completed a program in medical billing and coding, or reimbursement, or health information, any one of those things, because sometimes they'll reword it a little funny, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're prepared. You may have studied coding, ICD-10 CM, or ICD-10 PCS, or CPT. You may have studied that, but you don't have the credentials after your name with this, right? You're just saying that you completed a program. Sometimes employers will say, if you've completed a program, you have within 6 months, or sometimes they'll be generous and say you have within a year to get your certification. They mean it because your employment is set on that. That you've completed a program, okay, great, but it doesn't mean that we need to start you at medical coder pay. So keep in mind, you may be hired, but it doesn't mean that they're going to pay you what they're going to pay a coder who's already certified. So something to keep in mind. So while you have completed a program, and while you have a certificate that says you completed a program, this does not hold a lot of weight when it comes to what we do in this field and what we need and what is required of us, which is the certifications. Now, getting to the certifications. Again, you need to be certified with either Ahima or Aapc. This is on every single medical coding job listing I have ever seen, that they want certifications through either or of these, right? You only need one. And not only that, there are others out there that are either smaller associations, or they're newer and they don't quite have the clout that Ahima and Aapc have. If you are wanting to take this field seriously, then you need to start with certification through either one of these. There are 4 credentials that I recommend. 4. The CCS, which is a Certified Coding Specialist. This is the mastery of the inpatient and outpatient coding, okay? Then there is the CCSP, which is a certified coding specialist physician based. And this is the mastery of the outpatient side coding, right? And then you have the CCA, which is a certified coding associate, and that is the entry level, but it does test you on both inpatient and outpatient. So someone who has a CCA is qualified to work in either the outpatient or the inpatient setting. So it is a very valuable credential to start with. The pass-fail rate of this, you can see it on the Ahima website. This test is very difficult to pass, but because it takes a lot. And especially for somebody that's brand new to the field, that says a lot about their study and work ethic and things like that, because they can pass this exam. So something to keep in mind there about the CCA. Then with AA, and all of these are with Ahima, okay? Then there's AAPC. They do have the CPC, which is a Certified Professional Coder. This is all outpatient coding. So if you are interested in working in like the ER, or you want to work in a hospital clinic, like an outpatient clinic, or you want to do profi coding, of course, that's what the outpatient setting covers. So the CPC is good for that. I will add another one to this list. There is the CIC, which is a Certified Inpatient Coder, and that is also with AAPC, and that is covering the inpatient side of the house, just like the name says. So you would, if you're interested, and you're an AAPC member, and you want to expand your knowledge, or perhaps your program taught you both inpatient and outpatient coding, and you take your outpatient coding exam first, and you decide you want to go ahead and sit for that inpatient coding exam, the CIC is the way to go. Or if you want to stick with just AAPC, but if you want to transition over to Ahima, you have your choice there, the CCA or the CCS. There used to be a set requirement for sitting for the CCS, but they have since lifted it. So I will say that the CCS is a 4-hour exam. This is a very rigorous exam because, again, it is the mastery of inpatient and outpatient coding. A lot of employers ask for it because this will give them the opportunity to have an employee who is trained enough to be able to go anywhere. And if you are an employee that is versatile and can go anywhere and do anything, then you are very valuable to that employer, because it's a good thing to have, because having somebody who only does one thing doesn't really help them if they don't need that. So just saying. Hi Guy, hi A Williams, hi ALN, hi Waleska. I like that. Angel Rose says, if you get a diploma, what if you get a diploma from college? It's the same thing. A diploma from college that says you completed a medical billing and coding program or a medical coding reimbursement program, it doesn't hold the weight that the designations, the college designations, the RHIA or the RHIT, or the certifications holds. It doesn't carry that same weight. And so again, it just says that you completed a program. There's a huge difference between completing a program and going all the way and getting your certification and having those letters after your name. You'll know that you are certified with letters after your name because you'll be able to have these on all of your professional correspondence. So for me, in my example, I have my name and then I have comma and I have CCSP. So that's what I have on my name. Flora says, plan after graduation is key on studying while I work. I want to study on my own piece before I start working as an actual coder. With school, everything is going too fast. Is that a good idea? As long as you're disciplined, Flora, by all means, go for it. I put out that syllabus before. If you are interested in doing the self-study, you can look at that syllabus and study all those things so that way you can prepare yourself, and it breaks down the time that I recommend. It does not necessarily mean that you have to spend that amount of time on there. If you go through faster, you go through faster. If you need to take longer, you need to take longer. It is customizable to you, but you have to make sure that you stay and you don't stay with it and you don't kind of get sidetracked and just kind of forget about it, Um, A says CPC exam is almost 6 hours. 5 hours and 40 minutes. Yes. Golden Heart, which credential did you get first? I had my CCA. I had my CCA, the Certified Coding Associate. And I had that for over 10 years because I stubbornly held on to it. Yes, I did. Because there's a lot of people that trash talk my credential. And, oh, no one asked for it. Oh, that's no good. No, employers don't look for it. Baloney, because I got 4 jobs with it. I've trained degree holders. I've trained many a credential holder, and I've been able to do that. I've trained providers. So there is nothing wrong with the CCA. I now have my CCSP. Okay, so it's just because it says the CCSP says that you have mastered the outpatient setting, which I have. So so where do I get the certificates? I want to work in the ER. Okay, Angel, what you want is a certification, okay? Not a specific certificate to work in the ER, because you don't need that. Employers are not looking for credentials specifically for the ER. What they're looking for is the CCS, the CCSP, the CCA, or the CPC. Any one of these, and you're good to go. You don't necessarily have to be specialized to work in the ER. Now, I have my coding home in ortho. This does not mean that I need to have a special credential that says I only code ortho. This is what I like to do, but I certainly can do any specialty with my credential. Any specialty. So don't pigeonhole yourself unnecessarily looking for a specific ER certificate, okay? You want to get CPC, CCS, CCSP, or the CCA, and they will happily take you with any of those 4 because trust me, the ER is probably one of the number 1 places that's always hiring. Now think about it. The ER is the best place to work as a medical coder. Why? Because you see almost every single specialty: psych, cardio, neuro, ortho. The list goes on and on. So yeah. You're welcome. So yes. But let's see what else. So is that because I pretty much summed up everything that I said in the other video, but I was trying to be very more clear now this time because I wanted to make sure I said it right. 101 or 1011, I'm sorry. I'm going cross-eyed today. Hello, which one of the certifications do you recommend to a nurse? Again, any of the 4. Any of the 4. CCS, CCSP, CCA, or the CPC. Any one of these 4. Sometimes with nurses, they get asked more of, right? Because they're a nurse and they've had all of this extensive education than the regular coders, right? Who are coming in from a different field, right? So there's a lot of opportunities for nurses when it comes to coding. So that's why I say any one of those 4, you'll be able to do it. People say, well, Blue, really the CCA? I've known many nurses who got their CCA and they were able to transition into work just fine. And they still make really good money. So this thing. A says, I work in registration in the ER, and while I don't code, I enter codes when admitting patients to med-surg, ICU, etc. You literally see everything. Thank you. I did get tasked to work in the ER a few years ago. And I was like, okay, I can do this. Well, of course, anytime I saw an ortho trauma, I'm like, oh, give it here. I'll take it. So I love doing those. But yes, you do see everything from like like I have a cough to I'm bleeding into my brain or I've been stabbed or, whatever, there's a lot of things that happen or that they don't know and they're having a heart attack. So it's a mixed bag every single time, you know. You are hope to us. Thank you, thank you. I try because I know it's a confusing road into medical coding because there's a lot of self-serving information out there. So I try to keep it as real as I possibly can. And I try to give you guys as much solid information as I know, because I would want somebody to tell me this if I was doing my research and if I was looking to get into this field, because it's a commitment. This isn't like, oh, you study for your test and then that's it. No, no, no. You got to continue, because you have to report continuing education units in order to maintain your credentials. So in order to do that, you have to continually learn. So A says, psych, chainsaw accidents. We have had babies born in the ER too. Yes. There's is so much in the ER. So much in the ER. Is it expensive to get the certificate? It's a certification. You can go on your own and study on your own, and it's a fraction of the cost. I mean, like literally a fraction of the cost. You can go through the associations, and it's literally a fraction of the cost. The associations run about $4,000 each, a little under $4,000 each, give or take. Okay, because they have their different fees. With AAPC, they require you to be a member of their association before you can pay to sit for one of their certification exams. So that's an additional cost on top of everything else. With Ahima, they have, you don't have to be a member, but they will charge you for their books. All their books that go with that program, you get charged for every single one of them. So not that you don't with AAPC, but you know, it's like, yeah, there's separate charges and fees and stuff. So it runs roughly $4,000. There is trade schools out there that run $10,000, $15,000, $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, which I would never recommend, because that is entirely too much money, and a lot of times you don't know the quality of training you're going to get. Some people have told me good things about certain trade schools, which I'm not going to mention because they're not paying me. Not that I would do it for the money, because I've had a slimy scumbag approach me before and tell me that, oh, well, I run this educational platform, and you know, I want you to promote my school and my product, and you know, we have all of these other credentials for free, and that's we're targeting busy moms and stay-at-home moms and busy working adults. No. You're selling a dream, number one. Okay, I recognize that you're selling a dream. Number two, you're promoting a product for a certification that employers are not looking for, and you're including that in, well, it's going to give them extra credentials after their name. Credentials after their name that don't mean anything. Okay, no, I'm not doing it. So you can't buy me. You can't force me to tell you guys something, because my why when I do this is for you guys. It is to watch out for you guys, to give you guys the real deal, because I'm not going to sit here and try to sell you anything. Do I have a Patreon channel? Yes. The Patreon channel supports my book habit, supports my educational habits, but I'm not hawking it every single time. You know, it's just there. You know, and there's other things in it too. You know, I help you guys to study. I do crossword puzzles and for medical terminology, and I do critical thinking exercises. So it's not like you're not getting anything out of it. You are. And I do devote a lot of time to it. So, you know, no, I am not going to put something in front of my audience that I would not want to get for myself. Not doing it. So, you know, I will always do that. I will always try to make sure that I'm going to be as straight with you guys as possible. And it's not to sell anything, you know, it's just to let you guys know. So, A says, I'm not sure if Ahima does it, but AAPC has a payment plan. You can buy a course. Thank you for bringing that up, because I was going to say that next. You can buy a course at a time with Ahima. So that always helps. But yeah, you can totally learn on your own. You just have to buy the books. And I have that video out where I did the syllabus. I broke down like how much time you should spend. Again, if you don't want to spend as much time, or you need more time on a particular subject, then by all means, go ahead and spend more time. But it's up to you. It's even when you're going through these programs, like at the school or through a trade school, a lot of times you're still studying on your own anyway. So it's not always helpful to go through a school. That's why I always tell you guys, when you're looking at these trade schools, go and check, do your due diligence, check everything, okay? Talk to as many people as you possibly can who have gone to the school, and see if you can talk to the instructor as well. Find out if the instructor is even certified, because that's a problem that I see a lot of too. And even in the colleges, there's instructors that are not even certified, or they've let their certification lapse because they just need an instructor basically to fill the seat. So would I want to be instructed by somebody who doesn't have their certification that's up to date and current? No, because that tells me that if you didn't maintain your certification, okay, why not? Because once you get your certification, unless you're going to go into a completely different field and you really want to get away from medical coding, nobody in their right mind gives up their certification unless there's something catastrophic that happened. But you never give up your certification, because that is hard to get. You have to study, you have to go through all those emotions, and then when you pass your test, so no, it's an expensive proposition to just throw away. Just saying. Hi, Sade. So, hold on one second. My computer wants to go slow. Oh, now it wants to play games. I should probably talk sweet to it so it'll be nice to me. But anyway, while we're waiting for my computer to come back up. Okay. Yes, I want the screen back. Oh yes, here we go. ALN, if the school is not accredited, does it affect you to take the exam or get a job? If they are not accredited, you cannot sit for the RHIA or the RHIT, right? If you're going through a college program and they're not accredited through CAHIM, then you cannot sit for the RHIA or the RHIT, right? Whichever program you're going through, either the associate's program or the bachelor's degree program. If they're not approved, you cannot. A lot of people have found that out at the last minute and were very mad because basically they just wasted all their money for a degree that says, yes, they have a degree, but there's never going to be a designation because of that degree through that program, And then as far as like to get a job, once you have your certification, they don't care. They don't care where you went to school. They may ask you, your employer may ask you, have you gone through like a formal medical terminology program or anatomy program? They may ask you that, but other than that, no, they don't care. As long as you have your certification, that's all they care about. A says, I took a quiz today on how to code with ICD-10 CM and I got an 85. That's still good anyway. It's way above a C. And don't be too hard on yourself. At least it's a B, so you're still doing good anyway. As far as I would say anyway. So, but yes. So anyway, I hope that answers that question of the differences between the three, right? And Sade, I did get your email, and I'm going to get back to you. Like I said, it's just been really busy. I've just been running ever since I got home. But, alrighty. So, but does anybody else have any questions? So I think I've pretty much said it all. Hopefully this has satisfied the request. You're welcome, A. And you're welcome, Ellen. But yes, so if there is nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Speak now or forever hold your peace. We need one central, right? What? Floor? One credential, yes. Yes, you only need one to start. And then once you start, once you've been in the field, I always say give yourself 2 years with your credential so that you at least know what's going on. Because some people will get into this thing of they're going to start racking up all these credentials because they think that that's what they need to do, or like their school has told them, oh, you're going to look really good with this whole slew of credentials after your name, when in actuality, that credential that you hold, either the CCS, CCSP, CCA, or the CPC already says that you can do all that stuff, like billing. You don't need a certification to be a medical biller. And if you do get that certification, you have to maintain it with continuing education units. More money. Rather than just enjoying your credential now and just learning, taking that money to which you're going to learn all these and go through these other programs and spend another $600 between the exam fees and the class costs and the other books that they're trying to sell you, $600, $700, $800, right? In addition to, you could have spent that going to a medical terminology class or an anatomy class. Invest in things that are going to help you develop as a medical coder. Because I would rather hire a person who has one certification, who's concentrated and gone through classes to supplement their learning, than somebody who's racking up credentials and doesn't know yet quite their weight or their gravity or what it's up to. I've seen CPCs who don't even have 2 years yet, racking up a lot of credentials because they think that that's what they need to do. And when you should just take the time to have the one credential, focus on your learning, and then be able to move forward. Yes, there's going to be people that don't agree with that, and they say, well, no, Blue, that's not true. Never once have I seen in a job listing that you need to have multiple credentials in order to get this job. Or never once have I seen, hey, you need multiple credentials in order to make really good money. With the additional credentials, it's specifying that you're specialized in something, right? And you want it to be for a solid purpose, like CDI, right? Clinical documentation improvement or clinical documentation integrity. There's a few different ones out there, right? But this is a specialized credential that once you've had experience, or if you're a nurse and you want to get this says that you have this additional education and you have this additional ability to be able to look at this documentation more critically than a coder, than your standard coder, right? More critically, and be able to focus on, okay, where are the holes in this documentation? Where can we make it more complete so that we can get a better, clearer picture of what's happening? Because doctors are not meant to be medical coders. They are meant to document, see the patient, and next, right? So that's why CDI is very important. But that comes with time and experience. That's not something that you should get right out of the gate, because you need to have time to look at it. I have been a medical coder for over 10 years. I've been a medical coder since 2008, right? I am just now realizing how important CDI is, right? And I've done a form of it for a long time. So studying it formally now and having that as a goalpost for myself, okay, eventually, yes, I'm going to get to a point where I'm having multiple credentials. Right now, I only have the one, and I've done a lot with just one. I've done a lot with a CCA, but it all depends on you, and it depends on what your plan is. But have a plan before you start spending all this extra money, because at the end of the day, when you have to report those continuing education units, it's a lot. You get so much, and you can get them for free, but you got to find them. And not only that, you got to be able to maintain them. So, and some people have to end up paying, right, for CEUs because they can't find them, or they'll wait to the last minute. That I never understood. Waiting to the last minute. I get nervous 2 months out from my final report date, and I'm trying to make sure that all of it's reported because I don't want to lose it, especially when I worked hard for it. So, you know, all you need is one. But they always try to dress it up like, oh, you need this many and you need so much. It's going to make you look so good. I would rather a employee come in with the fact that they've, when they're telling me about themselves, that they've taken an extra class in medical terminology, or they've taken an anatomy class, or they invest time in reading things like the New England Journal of Medicine, right? Those things are somebody that I would pay more attention to than somebody that's trying to rack up all these credentials after their name and not really understanding what it's for. I've heard people say, well, I want to be certified in risk adjustment. And I asked the person, okay, what is risk adjustment? I know what it is, but I wanted to ask them what it was. Well, could not tell me what it was. Because I said, well, what do you like about it? Well, so you don't know anything about it, and you don't even know what you like about it, but you have it. Well, yeah. What are you going to do with it? Well, get a job. Okay. But when you look at the risk adjustment job postings, are they asking for that? Well, I just think it makes me look good. But are they asking for it? No. Are they asking for you to be certified at all? Well, not according to these ones that I'm looking at. So it's because it's all diagnosis coding, right? So while it's a good place for medical coders to start, it's not where you want to end up staying, right? You want to be able to get experience there and move on, because yeah, having a stint as a risk adjustment coder looks good on your resume. Yeah, sure. But don't stay there, because you're not going to do evaluation and management. You're not going to do procedural coding at all, inpatient or outpatient. You're not going to do any of that, you know, because it's all diagnosis coding. So again, you know, your career path is entirely up to you. I just hope that what I say helps some people to think before they act. And a lot of times when people are getting this, they get so excited, they start doing this, and I've seen comments like, oh, once you get one, it's like getting a tattoo, and it makes you want to get more. Don't trivialize our industry. Don't. Because that's trivializing what we do. It's not a game. Just because you get one certification, oh, let me get the other ones. No. Make it something that is substantial and worthwhile. Not just because it's out there and you want to pay to get it, just so you can have it on your name. My advice anyway. Hi, Mitney. Golden Heart. Are medical coders required to get the COVID vaccine right now? Perceptions of care. Hey, Blue, where do I begin? I only have a diploma. I'm so confused. So glad to hear this. Have you Perceptions, have you been here since the beginning of the show? So I know, so I don't have to repeat again. And Golden Heart, as far as your question, and I always kind of feel put on the spot with this question. Here's the thing, though. There's a lot of places. This is what I know from what I've heard. Okay, there are a lot of hospitals that are requiring all of the staff, doesn't matter who it is, everybody from the housekeeping staff to the maintenance staff, doctors, nurses, you know, all the administrative staff, they are asking them to get the COVID vaccine. Some employers, and we've all seen the news, they say it's required, and people have refused, and they've lost their job. This is the healthcare industry. This is the industry that we're in. And for some areas and some people, some businesses, they are requiring this. They are. And it's everybody has different opinions, and this is a very sensitive and hot button topic, but this is the healthcare industry. When you are in the healthcare industry, they are going to have things like this that are in place because of their policies. You have to think that they have to be insured as well. And I'm sure that insurance comes along with that stuff too. You know, you have to be able to provide a safe work environment. And if that insurance company deems that a safe work environment is that everybody is vaccinated, that is their policy. They are able to do things like that. So for all the places that I have heard, yes. But I don't know every place in the world. I don't know every place in the US. But from what I've heard, yes. Again, we're in the healthcare field. And that is part, it comes with the territory, you know. So however you feel about it is really on you. But this is something that we have gone through. This is something that, you know, it's on you to do your research. It's on you to decide what you want and go from there. I watched the majority of videos. I went to Ahima and got overwhelmed when my friend told me not to, and to go to a 4-year school like she did for her coding. Now I'm confused. Okay, so your original question was, where's your original question? Why do I not see your original question? Okay. Where do I begin? I only have a diploma. I'm so confused. A high school diploma or a GED? Is that what you're talking about? Perceptions? Did you finish a program? Okay, waiting on you, waiting on you. Okay, so while I'm waiting for you to answer, okay, I was going to follow through with the certification, but she suggested otherwise. You have a high school diploma. Okay, so what do you want to do? Do you want to be in a managerial position? Do you want to be a medical coder? Which do you want? And that way I know how to answer. I'm glad you are too. King, that's so nice. So perceptions, which way do you want to go? Do you want to be a manager or do you want to be just a medical coder? And what does your friend do, out of curiosity? Medical coder, and end game is a manager. Okay, so if you want to start off as a medical coder, you can still be a supervisor with like a CPC or even the CCS. You can still do that even with the CCSP. And those are the certifications. So you need to pick either the American Health Information Management Association or the American Academy of Professional Coders. Either one of these is, that's where you got to start. Because since you want to be a medical coder first, take college off the table. Don't even worry about it. If you want to go through a program through a local college, maybe they have a medical billing and coding certification program, that's fine. However, it can be expensive, and you don't know the quality of the school unless you go and you talk with the instructor and see what they know in their background, and that's fine. So you can start off that way. But if your end goal is to, if your starting thing is to be a medical coder, then you need to either sit for the CPC, that is through AAPC, or the CCA with Ahima, right? Because that is the entry level credential. So go through a program for medical billing and coding that is going to prepare you to sit for either or. There's a lot of programs out there that say that they prepare you to sit for either Ahima or AAPC credentials. So you can go through a program And then when you get done with that program, then that's when you go to Ahima or Aapc, and you go and you get your certification through them. You have to pay to take the test and then be able to go from there. But that is what you need to know. That's the short of it, the short of it all. But I have so many videos about where to start. And if you qualify for a program like through the WIOA, which is the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, if you work in a very low wage paying job right now, if you've been let go or laid off, you may qualify for funds through this program. That is how I got my schooling paid for. But back then when I was in it, it was a WIA, Workforce Innovation Act. So, it just depends. And you have to go to your local workforce office or your unemployment office. I call it the unemployment office. People call it the workforce office. So you can go there and you can ask them about that program. I also leave the link for the WIOA program, and I'll leave it again when I update the description box. So you can, when you're looking at me, there's a little arrow that points down. You can click on that and it'll bring up all of the information that I have about this video. So that is how you can get started if you're looking for funds on that. There's Ahima or Aapc. They don't accept the Pell Grant, but you can make payments if you want to go directly through them to get your education. Both of them have an online medical coding program. I always say that's the best way to go because it's the association themselves, AAPC's is 4 months for their medical coding program. They do offer a separate anatomy, medical terminology bundle package, right? And I think somebody said it was $1,000. Okay, I don't know. But that's what they said. That's what I heard. I didn't look, but you can always go to aapc.com. I recommend that you take this, that you do not bypass this, especially if you're coming from a place that is not medical, because you need to know your medical terminology, anatomy, and pathophysiology before you start the coding. Some people try to bypass that, and then when they get into the coding, they're lost. You can learn it on your own, the anatomy and stuff like that, medical terminology, but it takes discipline. If you're disciplined, then great. If you're not, then you're in a world of hurt because you have to know that stuff before you get into the coding part. So hopefully, does that help? Does that answer your question? Does it give you some kind of wherewithal, which way to go? Thank you so much for all the information you share. Okay. So I'm guessing we're good. Okay, good. Yes, it does. Okay, good. I'm glad. I do have lots of advice and videos. What is that? I think I'm just tired today, people. I do have lots of advice videos for brand new medical coders. And I have advice for medical coding students as well. So, Guy skipping out of here already. Thank you, Guy. I hope you have a good night as well. And 56%. I'm happy about that. He always gives me the mathematical breakdown of how I'm doing for the night. So, but anyway, yes. So again, hopefully you do your research. Visit aapc.com or ahima.org and check out both of these websites so that way you can see what they have to offer. Again, AAPC has a lot of different credentials. All you need is one. Start off with the CPC. It will have a -A for apprentice, and that is on your credential for 2 years because there is a 2-year commitment. They do have other educational products that you can take to be able to get it down to 1 year that you'll have that, but it depends. You don't necessarily have to take like Practicode, but if you want to, you can. Employers will still hire you with the A on your name, the CPCA. I know plenty of CPCAs who got their first job even with that, because they applied themselves and they were able to impress the employer. So, they were good to go. you know. But is that everybody's question? So I think, right? Because if anybody else has anything else, I guess I can go ahead and wrap it up. But I hope you all have enjoyed this, and I hope this helped with the explanation. I know it's a lot. Trust me, I know. Thank you so much for covering the CPCA. Thank you so much. All right. Well, you're welcome. Thank you, guys. Do we need to have a thick skin in this field? Yes, absolutely. This is not for the weak. Honestly, it's not. You have to be able to withstand a lot. And I'll have to go into that on another episode. I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.